take a look at the planter monitor, see how the shafts are turning. And when we get to the end of the row here, take a look at the other portion of the planter monitor as we lift up on the go. 1, 2, 3, yay. Everybody spin around. As we come back, I'll probably stop and slow down. And take a look at the poor man's planter monitor. Well, looks like we're dropping seeds out of this row, dropping seeds out of that row. That row's dropping seed and fertilizer, and so is that row. Huh, planter monitor. Looks like the bearings on those depth wheels are pretty good too. They're still spinning. Well, it's gonna get dark. I don't have much more to talk about. I'm already made a planting video from a month ago, and this is, other than sweet corn, the first corn going in since then, and hopefully this survives better and doesn't need a replant, because at that point it can't. It'll be so late I'll have a ton of silage corn on my hands. Yay, cattle! That's, I guess, my insurance policy, having animals to feed. Well, it's reload time. I think. Yep, we're low enough. I don't quite have this little area done out here. Probably got about 4 acres planted roughly. I think 4 to 5 acres on a fill. Roughly putting down 225 pounds of our fancy mix of triple, well, it's triple 19. Diluted out with our pelletized lime. So trying the same seed as last year. From out in the boony lands where it's hilly clay, maybe not quite as flat as here. Yes, I've definitely thought about ways to mechanize the fertilizer, but the problem is rust. I mean, this year, you know, it isn't all the sweet corn's fault for the fact that there's been fertilizer in the planter for over a month now, because that's just, you know, a weather delay. So yeah, having fertilizer in the planter for so long is not easy on the openers, and then I would end up having, say, a wagon whatever with fertilizer in it for a month, which really, I wouldn't want to have it sitting in a wagon for that long, like open top. These bags are somewhat sealed, so they're not exposed to all the humidity, or I'd be afraid of, say, having a gravity wagon type system that, like, the top would crust and stuff just from the humidity, and the fact that it'd be full of fertilizer for, well, months essentially. Just haven't found a good solution. I would need like poly bins or something with like all plastic everything. At least those could be sort of sealed. So for now, we're just working our muscles, not getting too fat on the tractor seat. Gotta stay in shape for the ladies. Pretty soon we'll see more in shape action whenever hay season gets around. Yeah, all those guys who have nothing to do besides hay or making hay right now. I would love to be one of them folks, I think. But I like gambling thoroughly, apparently, and spending lots of money on planting row crops instead of just going with the grass that likes to grow mostly on its own. Yeah, hay just makes way more sense, minus some of the labor stuff. Get a lot of feeding cows though, which that can be even more entertaining, we'll say, less weather affected, but more marketing issues, we'll say, of cattle prices. But I won't claim to know much about that, just because most of our beef is private sale. So I couldn't tell you what things are selling for at the stockyard, other than we haven't taken one there in, ooh, I don't know how long. So I'm listening to baseball right now while I do this. Local team Reds are having a horrendous season. Or definitely didn't start off well. They're full on fire sailing, trying to rebuild a team of AAA players and a whole bunch of guys nobody knows. Well, probably call it a day. Sun's getting low. I know the tractor action's more fun than watching me work. Well, it's the next day. We're still out here, still planting. Got to reload and refill the seed. Now, obviously, I've showed off reloading the planter before, but this segment is, oh yeah, look at that. Can you see that? Dealing with the overzealous application of seed treatment. Now, this stuff's obviously had a lot of it, say, scraped off. As you can see by the texture, this is a maroon plate, and that's red seed treatment. At least I won't grow fungus for a while. Maybe I should be using my toes. A lot of the seed treatment is kind of an antifungal, and there's a bit of insecticide on it. I don't know which one this is. It might be Captain. That was a fairly common one. This seed company, Baldridge, I don't know if they have it labeled on the bag what the seed treatment is. We can find an empty one real quick and look. But every time I fill fertilizer, I got to dump out the seed and scrape this off. This isn't bad, but imagine it twice as worse. And I think it's causing us to plant doubles because the seed knockers over here, those guys, are not, obviously not making good contact with the plate, and it makes the plate taller, so it can maybe squeeze, a second seed in at times. Now, Baldridge does a pretty fair job at seed sizing, and we didn't have issues with the treatment building up, which, let's read this. No, that's nothing about treatment. It's corn, blah, blah, blah. Do not plant nips. Let's try to read the tag. Clothianidin. Let's see, it's called Nipsit insecticide. Now it's got insecticide. It doesn't say anything about fungicide, which I'm sure with how wet it's been, bugs could be a problem. Just talked with the owner's wife here, and she likes hearing about some of the chemicals and stuff, and was asking about if cutworm was a problem this year, which it definitely has been. I've seen some signs in the sweet corn where there's holes in the plants. Have I seen dead corn plants? No. Where they've been eaten off. I haven't quite seen that, but I've seen holes where something is eaten through the stem. But I feel like that is the least of our problems, that rain has been the biggest problem. Just getting the stuff out of the ground first. You got to have something for the worms to eat. And typically moisture obviously aids bugs. And oftentimes, tillage disrupts them. I know, the earthworms, but they obviously can't all die, and I've seen them. They come back. Okay. Now roughly a 5-gallon bucket of seed is enough to make it 1 fill of fertilizer, which is roughly 5 acres, depending upon how much I push my luck trying to empty the boxes. And that requires me to get off and push the fertilizer down. Now we can see just how much more red this seed is, because it hasn't been floating around the seed box. And we did put these cones that are supposed to say hold the weight of the corn back in. We did put those back in. I don't know if it's helped much, but at least we can feel like we're trying. Now, if I'm totally crazy, the only thing that could be getting us is we read our notes wrong here, which we have the right sprockets. Hopefully they're not in the wrong place. But hey, more plants means more ears, right? Hopefully we're not off. It's the same numbers we used for years, so it's not like those notes are new. Now, if we had just got the planter or had picked, a new population, that'd be one thing, but we've been using the 12 and 15 sprocket for years and had that note on that box. And we've also got a note on the box of what sprockets we use for sweet corn, because we plant sweet corn at a lower population. We can't crowd sweet corn. It needs its space around here. Sweet corn we only plant maybe 20,000. And field corn we plant, say, roughly 28 or so. Trying to get just about 3 acres out of a bag of seed. It's 80,000 kernels. It's not quite 3, but it's close. So you've already seen me dumping fertilizer. We're looking here. We've seen me doing the scratching off of the seed treatment, and well, no bugs will bite me. Keep the mosquitoes away. See, to get this far, I had to get my hand in here and cover the auger back up last night. To make the most of that, I need another bag of seed again. And yeah, trying to beat the rain. The way the Weather Channel has it on my phone, the rain's gonna develop over us, so it's not like I can watch it come at us for 2 hours across Indiana. It'll be one of those things where I'm going along, like, it's nice and shady, then bam, it's just gonna start pouring on me, or somebody, hopefully somebody else. We say the rain chant, rain, rain, go away, come back as a snow day. Okay. I know, I'm sure many folks don't like snow. But at least the white is better than mud. Okay, I'm gonna keep sweating. Catch you guys on another segment of this misadventure. Well, we're taking a quick break in the shade as we joyously celebrate the fact that this field is planted. Dad brought lunch and we are on to the next field, but we'll go ahead and wrap this up. This is the video of planting and converting this extra flat former no-till to death soybean field into what will hopefully be a lovely, lovely field of corn.